You can outsource SEO, you can outsource even cold calling, but you cannot outsource your cardio. If sales is at the heart of your business, then you can't outsource that either. Welcome to this episode of MSP Insider Whiteboard series. This time we're going to dive deep into a core fundamental truth that most people will never see that keeps them from actually growing their MSP. It comes from my conversation with Brian Gillette from Feel Good MSP, and we are going to talk about the lie that MSPs are telling themselves. But we don't just leave you on the cliffhanger. Everything we aim to do here, everything that I try to do as my own sort of like world of giving back, sometimes it's truly just therapy for me, is leave behind tactical, practical steps for you as an MSP leader to walk away from this 20 minutes or so video with, that you can actually implement and see the change in your business immediately. There's no cost. All you got to do is subscribe. You can comment at the end, but you got to stay to figure out the right word to get the workbooks that you can actually implement right away in your business. Let's dive straight in. First things first, right? Sales is just like cardio for your business. Nobody can run for you. You see, MSP owners aren't stuck because they don't know what to do. They're generally stuck because they've mistaken their trauma for truth. They are training their mind to avoid the pain of rejection and calling that a strategy. But here's the lie. We just need more leads. And here's the truth. You need a new relationship with fear. And the only way to do that is the hard work that you've been avoiding and all of the excuses that you've been giving yourself. Now let's dive in and figure out how to do that. Now let's break this down and take a look at it. Most MSPs, they were founded by technicians, right? And you were good at solving problems, but you were really, really bad at being seen. And that is why most of us stay stuck right here in the tactical safety zone. And down here, this is really where we're talking about like stack skills, right? Ticket volume, project hours. Maybe if you're disciplined enough, like SOP mastery, process procedure, right? But it's like way down in the weeds. This is where your to-do lists are full of ticketing software, and sales follow-ups are always at the bottom of the list. Oftentimes you're going to chase clarity in systems, but not conversations, right? We pull back, we avoid that stuff. It's really safe to just go fix a server, but it is not safe to say, here's my price.
Show me the to-do list. Oh, I need to follow up on that quote, or I still need to build the quote I said I was going to deliver 3 weeks ago. As to-do number 23 on that list, it's like, look no further. I understand what the issue is, right?
Now, many MSPs ascend slightly out of that particular range, and they end up in the next phase, but this is where you permanently get stuck. And what I like to call this section is awareness, but avoidance. And this is where most MSPs, like the majority of the market, gets stuck right here, right? And what does that even mean? Like, what does stuck here mean? I know what to do, but I'm still not doing it. That shit hurts, doesn't it? And I know, because I was there before, right? Don't forget, I was an MSP at 5 different MSPs, 7 different times for 18 years. I was in sales. I was in tech. I did the tech stuff first. And I know this to be true because this is the shit that I had to overcome to break revenue records, sell so many things that literally operations pulled the plug on sales so that they could catch up over the next 9 months when they completely rebuilt the ops org, right? How did I figure that part out? Ultimately, I love the fact that Brian talked about this in our episode because he actually called it out as the invisible wall, right? So if we come down here to the invisible wall, I want you to look at every single one of these bricks. And maybe it's not every one. Maybe it doesn't matter how many of them you have in your, head trash. But the way that he talked about it was that there's this mountain of things that you should do, but you don't, right? You've read all the books. You've come to the YouTube channel, you've watched videos like this, you've gone to the webinars. Lack of information is not the problem, right? It's ultimately the problem is identity avoidance, which is where the really uncomfortable part about the conversation came, right? Most MSP owners are still trapped inside of their technician skin. They haven't truly faced the fear, faced the shame, or conditioned themselves to tell them that they're not salespeople, right? Like, you've set yourself up for failure in every single way.
And then they put machismo or they put ego. All of these things are just shame flexing its muscles. We call it the invisible wall because there's a pile of stuff that you should do, but you're not doing it. What people come to me for is more supposed to be's. What am I supposed to do? And I go, you don't understand. All I'm going to do is throw them on the mountain of other shit you're not doing that you're supposed to be doing. You should ask your wife how her day was, but you're not doing that either.
So what I want you to do is take a look at this table, right? And figure it out, right? Do you play victim? Are you just justifying or rationalizing the things that happen? Is it fear? Maybe it's just simply insecurity. Or maybe you don't think you're good enough. Whatever it is, I assure you there are some words on the page here that can really resonate. And it's going to be uncomfortable, which hopefully you've come to figure out from a lot of the content that I put out is like, it is the uncomfortable stuff that forces us to grow. So thank you for being here. Tune into the rest of this show, and we are going to walk through how to break down those false beliefs, overcome them, and build the MSP of your dreams. And it's so much easier than you think. So let's start figuring out how. Let me walk you through what I had to figure out the hard way, right? We've kind of already talked about this tactical safety zone. And that's really zone 1, the bottom level, right? We're solving tickets. We're hiding ourselves inside and behind the tools, all of that stuff, all the shiny objects and everything else. The second level, which we already talked about, was awareness, but avoidance, right? And this was where it's like, I should be selling, but you don't. I should follow up on that quote, but you do something else instead. I should build this proposal that I told him I'd give him 3 weeks ago, but I have all this other technical stuff to go through. And like, we get stuck in just that section. Now, the other triangle, that's pretty much, again, like where the majority of the market sits. You don't really evolve past that. You just are in this crazy next level, which is the victim reset loop. You're in that doom loop, right? You create all these false narratives and false beliefs in your mind that you accept as truth, and you never make it past that line. Whether you draw it there or you draw it there, 80% of the MSP market never ascends above or below this line. Well, they stay below this line, right? They never break through above it. My clients won't pay. My city's different. The industry's too competitive. I don't have enough people. Like, whatever it is, the excuses are there.
Stop letting your explanations be excuses.
That being said, this is the first unlock for you. If you can bring yourself to transcend outside of that doom loop that you put yourself into, you will evolve to the next level, which is the resilience cultivation. Resilience, and I'm not going to spell it right, and I'm writing like a kindergartner, but you can deal with it. That's what listening's for. Resilience cultivation. Now, why did we choose that word? Because it's not something that you just like snap your fingers and have, which is also why most people don't get past the red zone, right? This is where you become not resistant to rejection, avoiding it entirely. You become resilient to it, even if mentality. You do it scared. You show up. You take the action. How do we do that?
The difference between resistance and resilience is this. Resistance is your ability to hold your shape when faced with opposition. Resilience is your ability to come back into shape when you've been bent out of shape.
Technical grit does not mean emotional grit, right? You can pull an all-nighter to debug a firewall or recover a busted server, but you won't hit send on a quote that you promised them 3 weeks ago. This isn't a knowledge gap. It's emotional fitness. Back to the cardio example. It literally is cardio. Nobody can do it for you. You must do it yourself, but you can do it. You've just been lied to the whole time by the industry, even by the best practices. And this is the step and the process to overcome that and get through it. This is the sales mindset that truly scales you and the business. It's the top level of our pyramid. You can transcend to this level, and it is the sales integrated operator. This is the level where you can actually tell yourself, my emotions serve me. My business actually reflects me. I earn attention and I do not outsource it.
3, 2, 1, and I did it. I wasn't allowed to get to 0. I wasn't allowed to go negative. I wasn't allowed to start at 10.
But if you're not willing to grow and you're not good enough, you should fire yourself. You can't be trusted with a customer service business.
At this level, this is the part where you're actually going to stop seeing sales as a department, and instead, it will be an identity. It'll be your identity on top of that. Because it is an identity decision. It has been all along. That is the ultimate lie that MSPs have been told and are telling themselves. So if you've been blaming the market or the pricing or the leads that aren't coming in, the referrals that stopped, your people that left, the customers that left, the gap is not outside your business. The gap is inside your belief system. I'll say it again. Sales is cardio. No one can run for you. So here is really your only decision. There are 3 doors you can walk through. You need to make one decision, but there are 3 options. For most of you, you can stay stuck, right? Continue that victim mentality, the doom loop that it creates. That's ultimately what's behind door number 1. Wherever you are today, you'll be plus or minus 5% next year if you don't do anything at all. Door number 2, as Brian puts it, you should quit. I shouldn't even be laughing. But there's so much truth to that. And go watch the full episode to capture the full context of what that even means. But there is another door, the 3rd door, which not only do I hope all of you watching this episode will choose and gladly and proudly and boldly walk through, but I have an entire workbook available for you on how to do it should you choose this, right? Should you choose door number 3, which is to change, right? You do not want to be where you are a year from now, a month from now. All of that is possible. And it is possible to you and for you and through you today. So if you're brave enough to pick door number 3, if you've been hiding behind explanations, right? I want you to drop the word ready in the comments here, anywhere on the page. If it's on YouTube, then just check the show notes so that we know you are done with excuses. Comment ready right now, and I will send you a workbook that will walk you through step by step how to overcome this, how to operate at that top level, at level number 5, a sales integrated operator. Believe me, trust me, I've been there. I've gone through this ascended ladder, which is why it resonated so deeply. It's why I decided to break this down into a whiteboard episode. Go watch the full episode. Here's the workbook. Let me show you. If you comment ready, I will send you this entire workbook that walks you through step by step everything that you need to do. And just so you know, if you feel like you aren't going to be able to do it, here's the example that gives you the cheat code. There's actually AI prompts in here to help you overcome not knowing what the next step is. The only thing that's going to prevent you from changing is you and your inaction or your indecision, which is why I put it the way that I did, where there's 3 doors. You know, just like Tim Kunkel said, indecision, not making a decision, is also a choice. So make the choice right now, comment ready, download this workbook, and change your MSP today. Become the salesperson, the growth that you've always wanted, but you never knew how to unlock. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Whiteboard series. Please, if this resonated, subscribe to the channel, like it, share it with someone else that you know can be impacted by it. Put it on social media. That's the only ask for any of this content that I put out, is that you share the word so that we can help more people just like us.